The Galactic Empire did nothing wrong. Free Alderaan from the Rebel Alliance. This is the most moral empire in the entire galaxy.
Everybody who have a mind in his hand know that the state of Israel and all these crimes is against the Jewish religion, against the Jewish teachings. We are here with the pro-Palestinian movement to support a free Palestine, a free Gaza.
You support the Empire? The Empire is actually saved Alderaan from the Rebel Alliance. Free Alderaan from the Rebel Alliance. The Empire did nothing wrong. Support the Empire. Excuse me, do you support the Empire? This is the most moral empire in the entire galaxy. It's the most moral empire in the galaxy. The Galactic Empire did nothing wrong. Sir, do you stand with the Galactic Empire, sir? How you doing? How you doing? The Galactic Empire did nothing wrong, okay? Moff Tarkin is the one who gave the order to blow up Alderaan.
I stand with the Empire.
Yeah. You know what? Free.
I want a picture of Stand with Israel. Stand with Israel.
I stand with the Empire. Free Alderaan from the Rebel Alliance. Do you support the Empire? It was Moff Tarkin. He blew up Alderaan. This is the most moral empire in the entire galaxy. Moff Tarkin blew up Alderaan, okay? Not Darth Vader. The Mandalorian uses Baby Yoda as a human shield. I'm here to support the Galactic Empire. Do you support the Galactic Empire?
What's the connection? Are you making fun of us?
No, the Galactic Empire. I'm talking about Star Wars.
I think he's making fun of us.
Wait, I'm here to talk about Star Wars.
He's one of us. Star Wars, the best.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you watch Star Wars.
Yeah, I love Star Wars.
Yeah. See, she watched Star Wars. She understands Star Wars. She's not misinterpreting Star. Yeah. Tell them about Star Wars.
IDF. These are people who defend Israel. Defend Israel.
Yeah, Star Wars. You know, some of these people here, are not being loyal to the Republic.
They're not loyal to America.
They're not loyal to the Republic. They're not,
The Republic of the United States.
Republic.
Don't be Holocaust genocide the same sentence. Sorry. Think about what's going on in Gaza.
Shalom from Donald Trump. Free all these assholes from Gaza. Free them from Hamas. Free everybody from Hamas.
The Galactic Empire has done so much for people, and they just get so much hate. I don't know why people hate the Galactic Empire so much, right? It was Moff Tarkin that blew up Alderaan. Moff Tarkin. And the liberal media is never going to talk about Saw Gerrera, right? Yeah, exactly.
Criminals wear masks.
Yeah, criminals wear masks. Only criminals. Cowards. You're all cowards. Yeah, exactly. Take your helmets off. Take your helmets off and see who's with the Rebel Alliance. A lot of Rebel Alliance people here in disguise.
I'm here with my face exposed. IDF concerns protecting innocent people, and on the other side,
yeah! Take your helmet off! Take your helmet off and swear allegiance to the Galactic Empire. Emperor Palpatine has never even heard of Order 66. So he put some biochips in each of the clones. That doesn't prove anything.
And democracy and the Republic.
Defend the Republic, yes.
The Republic of the United States and defend Israel. That's all that matters. There is no Palestine. Palestine does not exist. There is no Palestine. Is there a plane? Can you take a plane to Palestine? There's no plane that goes to Palestine.
There is no Alderaan. Alderaan doesn't exist. The Galactic Empire tried to save Alderaan.
We're the Republic, right? Stand with Israel. The Republic and democracy.
Emperor Palpatine tried to save Alderaan from the Rebel Alliance. The crime rate on Alderaan, he brought it to 0%.
Basically, we are here in front of the United Nations again because what we thought yesterday is the worst. Today is the normal. We didn't think that in the world's history will be it will be a live genocide on social media and TV, and especially when they target healthcare workers, like 15 healthcare workers at once. We thought this is the worst, but this is not the worst. When they target journalists sitting in their tents, born alive, we thought this is the worst, but this is not the worst. Zionist regime is taking every day next step to be the worst genocide in the world's history, in the modern history. So basically we are here as Jewish people. Why the state of Israel are using our religion to justify all these crimes? They're misquoting our religion and claiming to be representing the Jewish people, the Jewish religion, to protect the Jewish people. We are here to say this is totally false. This is not what Judaism is. Zionism is against our religion, against the teaching of the Jewish religion. Killing, stealing is in no way representing the Jewish religion. A lot of APEC politicians are usually saying that you don't need to be a Jew to be a Zionist. I'm here to say that you don't need to be a Jew to understand that the state of Israel is against the Jewish religion. Everybody who have a mind in his hand know that the state of Israel and all these crimes is against the Jewish religion, against the Jewish teachings. So we are here with the pro-Palestinian movement to support a free Palestine, a free Gaza. We demand a stop to the occupation for 76 years. We had a beautiful peace prior to the movement of Zionism. We hope this should be the case in the future.
There is anti-Semitism out there, but it's harder to go after actual anti-Semitism when people are calling everything anti-Semitic.
There was anti-Semitism prior to the movement of Zionism, but the rise on anti-Semitism today is because the actions of the state of Israel. But the pro-Palestinian movement is not anti-Semitic. When I go to this protest, when the Zionists attack me, the pro-Palestinian movement will protect me. Because they are not against the Jewish people as the Jewish religion. They are against this brutal occupation for 76 years and their goal to ethnically cleanse the region of the Palestinian people. This is their goal from the beginning. So we are here as Jewish people to say that everything is wrong. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. It's our duty to stand up against this genocide, against this occupation, against this rebellion against God. This is not what Judaism is. Leaders of the Zionist movement, the founder, Theodor Herzl, was an atheist. He didn't believe in God.
Theodor Herzl.
Theodor Herzl was an atheist. He wrote in his diary, he want all his kids to be Christians. So claiming, but they still claiming in the name of my religion these crimes. This is embarrassing to us. And we are here to counter these lies. These lies need to be stopped. The pro-Palestinian movement should not be intimidated when they're being accused as anti-Semitic people. The students' movement should not be intimidated. We admire the students when they're standing up for what is right. They will be remembered in the history to come, when the world will see what the genocide did to the Palestinian people, and they had courageous people standing up for their rights.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's very important to understand that there never was an ancient Palestine.
All right, let's see it.
When the Romans beat the Hebrews, they renamed the land in their native tongue, which was Latin. The name they gave the land was Syria Palestina, which means new land in Latin.
So the only part of that was not just pure and utter nonsense was the fact that the Romans did actually rename this region following the Bar Kokhba revolt around 135 CE. But Syria Palestina is not a Latin name. It does not mean anything in Latin. It certainly doesn't mean new land in Latin. It is a borrowing into Latin of two Greek terms that originally designated two separate regions. Syria in Greek comes from Assyria, which is a borrowing into Greek of the earlier term Ashur, which is a designation of the land of Mesopotamia. Palestina is a borrowing into Latin from the Greek Palestini, which we find as early as the 5th century BCE in Herodotus as a designation for the shoreline from Phoenicia down to Egypt, and sometimes it is used to refer to regions further inland like Judea. And Herodotus did not make up this word. It was actually borrowed into Greek from earlier Semitic languages, because we find it in Akkadian, the term Palastu and Pelistu, which are used as designations of the region we now know as the Gaza Strip and other parts of that shoreline. It's also found in the Hebrew Bible. The term Peleshet is used 8 times as a designation of the region we now know as the Gaza Strip and other parts of that shoreline. And it goes back even further because it is borrowed into Semitic languages from Egyptian. Around 1200 BCE, the term Pereshet pops up in Egyptian as a designation for the sea peoples who migrated into the region and caused a lot of disruption to the Eastern Mediterranean. And those populations likely originate in the Central Mediterranean around Mycenae. And they would become what we know as the Philistines, which also comes from Pereshet. And in Egyptian, they don't distinguish the R from the L consonant, but terms that get borrowed from Egyptian into Semitic languages frequently replace the R with an L. So Pereshet becomes Peleshet in the Hebrew Bible, becomes Palastu and Pelistu in Akkadian, becomes Palestini in Greek, becomes Palestina in Latin. So the designation Palestine actually has etymological roots that go all the way back to the arrival of the sea peoples around 1200 BCE. And genetic testing on the populations that occupy the regions we now know as Palestine show they have genetic roots that go back to the Bronze Age, even before the arrival of the sea peoples. Guess what other group has genetic roots that extend back that far? Jewish populations that occupy the regions around Palestine. So both of these groups have historic and genetic roots that extend all the way back into the Bronze Age.
I can understand how people mix up the two, but they are not the same. Syria Palestina was Roman, which had nothing at all to do with Arabs or Muslims. Palestine, on the other hand, was an adopted name by Arabs in 1948, ironically from the British colonialists to create a false narrative about an ancient land because it was almost spelled the same.
This notion that Palestine is a name that has no connection to the peoples that occupied this region anciently is itself a demonstrably false narrative.
I thought I was going to get kicked out like right away. I didn't expect that none of them would get this. I think that is the problem. That is the problem, is none of them understood this. If you understood Star Wars, you would know I am making fun of you.
One guy did come up to me, and I didn't want it to become a fight, so I literally was like, he was like, what is this? What is it? I was like, it's about Star Wars. And he was like, oh, okay, cool.
That was it, yeah.
I was telling Walter, I have seen that woman before.
The short woman,
The short woman who was standing next to you for all of the photo ops. She is a regular at New York protests. I was filming for someone else for an anti-Elon protest in New York, and she spoke for a long time, and she was saying some really like wild off the wall shit. She said something about the nature of like 90% of the kids who end up taken by CPS are sold into trafficking. Like, just, she was like, I was a Democrat for 30 years, I loved them, but now no longer. And then about 3/4 of the way through our interview, she revealed, she was like, oh yeah, I mean, my memory's not so good. I was hit by a car a little while back and everything's a little fuzzy after that. And we went, oh.
So all the comments on that video are, I used to be a Democrat until I got hit by a car.
Yeah, essentially. But, so, if you ever wonder how people got to the way that they got to where they are,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes it is a car accident.